I know that for me, it took me a while to realize how valuable um, life is, and that peace, that peace of mind. And we had a conversation before about this, and I wanted you to share your thoughts on how you got to where you at from a mental standpoint, as far as life and wealth.
Well, I'm 47 years old, and I think most of my life I was taught just like everybody else that the pursuit of the American dream or whatever was like your dream house, your dream car, your dream wife, your dogs, all of that, right?
Yeah.
So I was sold that same story as everybody else. But in my late 30s, early 40s, I started a lawn care business in which 80%, 90% of my customers were all senior citizens.
Hmm.
So most of these people are like at a final stage of their life, right?
Right. Right.
And I would spend a lot of time with these people. Like, since I'm there every week mowing their lawns, I might be there for a half hour mowing the lawn, but I might spend an hour of my time just listening to them because they're not seeing nobody else at their house all week other than me and the mailman, right? So you kind of form a bond, you kind of form a friendship, and I learned so much about life just interacting with these people, especially the ones that actually died. Because I've had several customers over the years that I actually spent some of their final moments with them, right? And the one thing that I found in common with most of them was that they never talked about, like, what kind of houses they had,
Right.
what kind of cars they drove, or how much money they had. Most of the things that they talked about was like different experiences that they had in life, what with their families and vacations and grandkids and stuff like that, right? So it just made me think about, like, damn, like I put so much focus on, you know, money and things that money can buy. It's like, am I gonna be wealthy in experiences? Like, when I lay in my deathbed and I'm taking my final breaths, am I gonna be thinking about these cars and these houses? Or because that'd be all that I have if that's what my focus is on. You know what I mean? Or will I be focusing on the memories that I created, with the people that I care about? Because I've seen those people too. You know what I mean? I've had maybe one or two that weren't very good as far as their families, and kind of prioritized material things over family. But seriously, when they passed, I was like really the only person that was there.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy how um so many people, they get older and they die alone. I think that's one of my biggest things that I don't want to happen to me. Is I don't want to call it
Mhm.
a fear, but I guess in all reality it is a fear. I don't want to be old and raggedy and just there to just take care of myself with no help. You know what I'm saying? So that, I guess, is one of the reasons why I work so hard. But you discussed with me before too about some of the stories they shared with you, what you just told me, and their biggest things was memories and time, and that's what's up, man. That's something that's really something to think about, because, like, just take me for instance. I'm just keep it real. Um, I work, but I work so hard because I want to make sure that when I hit the dirt, that my family, and particularly my wife and my kids are in good shape, and I mean mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. You know what I'm saying? So those are one of the things that I really want to accomplish before I hit the dirt, man. So we also talked about like the importance of family, and I know that you shared with me that you're not a envious or a jealous person, but there's one thing that you do envy about, that you will envy, and can you share that story? I thought it was an interesting story.
Yeah, just even when you hear like the term envy,
Hmm.
like you automatically think of something negative, right?
Right.
Um, and I was telling you, like, there's nothing that I've ever looked at another man and been like, oh, I'm envious of him for the car that he drive or the house that he live in. I said that I would openly stand on the stage in front of the whole world and honestly say that I am envious of any man that had the opportunity to raise his children in the home with his wife as a family, because that's something that I've never got to do, right? And I even asked you, I said, Corey, have you ever been in the bed with your wife and your kids run in the room because they scared? And you was like, yeah, like that's no big deal, right?
Right, right, right,
It's not a big deal to you because you had the experience.
right,
But I haven't. I have never had that.
right.
You know what I mean?
But you know what, man? I'm gonna tell you, man. It is more. It may sound like it's not a big deal to me because I'm accustomed to it now. So, but it is a big deal to me because, like, I mean, you know how I grew up, and I never, to be honest with you, I never imagined me living that kind of life where I'm sitting here, married, committed to my wife, committed to my family, and I got my little kids coming in, jumping in the bed with us, and we all sitting there having a conversation. I mean, I was just thinking like maybe, I don't know, last week or something, we just was things just happens organically. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the room and then here come the kids and now we all in the bed, you know, me, my wife and my girls, and we just sitting there talking, sharing stories. You know, they asking me about stories I can tell when I was little, and I gotta really think because I gotta tell them the right stories. I can't tell them the wrong stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's a very it's hard to put a name on it. Like I want to say enjoyable, but it's more than that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have the I don't have the right words for it. But no, I treasure those moments, man. And one of the biggest things, like I said, I never thought that I would ever see that day. That just seemed so superficial to me, you know, at the time. Now it's like it's a reality, and I really thank God for that.
Yeah. I think that that's something that a lot of us grew up without ourselves. You know what I mean? And we just accepted the fact that maybe it was something that we wasn't gonna have. You know, but for me, that was my goal in life, man. I wanted to be there with my kids every day. That was it. I ain't never said I wanted to have $1 million or nothing like that. I've always said that, you know, if I had kids with a woman, I was getting married and I was gonna be in the home with my kids.
Right. Now that's interesting that you always thought that way, right? Because me personally, let me just keep it real. I always grew up and I was all about I gotta find a way to get rich because that to me was my happiness. That's where I saw success. You know, like if you just say, well, what's success? Back then, my answer would have been, you know, making a lot of money, you know what I'm saying, having a nice car, a nice house, you know what I'm saying, and living, you know, nice and healthy. That's what success sounded like to me, but now it's a whole different ball game. But I'm curious to know, and in your mind, what is the difference between how I thought versus how you thought as a young man as far as success and what you want out of life?
Everybody got a different definition of success. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, I think that the most common definition of success, from as far as coming from an urban area, I grew up around men that had already achieved that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I still saw the unhappiness in it. You still kind of equated it. You factored in the cars and everything into the equation, right?
Uh-huh.
I had already removed that from the equation because I was already around men that had all that but didn't have the happiness as far as the family.
Right. They didn't have that peace of mind.
You know, they didn't have that peace. They didn't have that happiness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, you know, you know what I learned too later in life, Shane? I don't like to be happy, man. And I'm
You don't like to be happy?
no, I'm gonna tell you why. Because happy is conditional, right? So if a person can make you happy, they can make you sad. And I don't want that. I don't like anybody having that type of control over me. So I prefer just to be at peace and to find happiness within myself. I know that sounds a little contradictory, but the happy thing, I like to be careful with that, because when something can make you happy, if it go away, it can also make you sad. But when you at peace, it's whatever it is, you understand that the situation is the situation, and you deal with what's in front of you, and you know you got it handled, you trust God, and you take care of it, and that's it. That's like peace. And I prefer to be at peace than to be happy. You know, do that make sense?
Perfectly.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Perfect.
He said, I think I said, no, that don't make sense to me.
It makes sense because I understand what you're saying, because I feel the same way, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like happiness is an emotion, right?
yeah,
And we all know that emotions change, right?
yeah.
Like I'm not gonna stay with my wife because she makes me happy.
Right, right, right.
I'm gonna stay with my wife because it makes sense logically. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to court. You know what I mean? It's just that's where logic kicks in. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go home tonight, not because I want to, but because it makes sense logically to go home tonight. You know what I
So,
mean?
so but for real though, that's the big difference. And watching you growing up, and especially as an adult, and thinking back of me looking at, you're a lot younger than me. I ain't say a lot, but you're younger than me. But looking at little Shane, let me just say that, with no disrespect, like little Shane growing up, you know what I'm saying? He got a family, you know what I'm saying? And your family is structured, and that's a good thing. But on my side, we grew up a lot different than what you did. And now I can see the benefits in a major way, because of it's just the mindset, bruh. Like just imagine if I could have thought the way that I think now, 30 years ago, or even 20 years ago, I would be in much better shape. And that's why I always push and say that one of the most important things that could ever be done is to have a family unit. And for the record, let me define what a family is: husband, wife, kids. That's family. Okay. So, and that man shall be the head, not the household, the head of his wife. You know what I'm saying? The head of his entire family, and lead that family to God. And I know that comes with a lot of different angles, and people, imagine that you sitting around holier than thou. But it's so simple. You just live, and you live for the moment, and you live for what's in front of you, and you don't really live in the past, and you try not to live in the future. You live in the present. And I think that that's the only way to have your peace, is to live in the present. Because once you get past the present and you get to the future, you're doing all this thinking about stuff that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen the way you thinking it in your head. So you just wasted your time. You know what I'm saying? So when you at peace, you don't go there. You just live for what's in the moment. You trust God, and you live an amazing life. But it took me a long time to figure that out. And to me, that sounded like a big deal. But to like you and how you was raised, it's like, oh, okay, that's pretty simple. You know what I'm saying? But that's the difference of having a man in a house, and your mother, and being raised by your family, versus, you know what I'm saying, just like out there, kind of like, I guess, the street life, or whatever you want to call it, or however you want to refer to it. But man, if anything, I would really encourage men and women to get married, and start a family. And I wouldn't have said that, 20 years ago, but I really enjoy where I'm at right now. I really enjoy this piece, and I just, only if I had a regret, my only regret would be that I should have took this route a long time ago. And when you can teach that and embed it into your kids, then we'd be in a much better place.
As far as any advice that I would give to the youth, it would be exactly what I did as a kid. I always looked for people that were doing what I thought I wanted to do. And I started doing that at like a very young age. At like 16 years old, I had my first job. I was working for the local newspaper here doing marketing. And I was around a lot of young professionals. They were late 20s, early 30s. They were entry level executives. They were real estate investors. And I tapped straight into them at 16 years old. You know what I mean? I'm asking them all the questions I can. I'm hanging out at their houses on the weekends. I'm trying to soak up as much as I can from them at 16 years old. And it worked out. I mean, it put me to the point where, when I was in my early 20s, I already understood about 401ks, retirements, real estate investments, all of that stuff, right?
Right.
And so I was kind of ahead of my peers because of that.
No, you was really ahead. Just to even be thinking about that kind of stuff at that age is a really really good deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I did notice though that this younger generation,
Mm-hmm.
they are, even the cats that's coming up in the streets, you know what I'm saying, in the hood, they really starting to kind of think more along those lines. You know what I'm saying? So something
Mm-hmm.
is being done to get that to happen. And I hope that, man, so this is important that we have these kind of conversations so that people can really grasp something, because I'm sure anybody that listens to this at least gonna learn one thing, if nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, the information is out there, and it's a lot more accessible now. You know what I mean? If I wanted to learn about real estate back then, I had to go find somebody that was one willing to even talk to me. You know what I mean? Willing to talk to a 16-year-old. But now they can just pick up their phones and go on YouTube and pretty much learn anything they want to learn.
yep. So ain't no excuses no more, because everything is out there, and it's easy. So like, okay, before you just said, Corey, let's learn about real estate. I'm thinking, no, I got to go to a class, I got to do all this stuff and sit there and but now I can just get right online, study it as I want to, at my own speed, get my certificate, and then live. So it ain't no excuses. I mean, I just wish people would learn and understand that. And on top of that, we better start stepping up and doing something, build that real wealth. So let me ask you, I got one more question for you though, before we close out. What is wealth?
To me, wealth, I totally equate it with time. Wealth is time. Wealth is memories. You know what I'm saying? Moments that you share with your family. One big thing for me that I do, Corey, is I have food catered at my house every holiday, right? About 12 years ago, I went to McDonald's on Thanksgiving, right? No joke, man. I walk in McDonald's. It's Thanksgiving Day. I'm hungry. Everybody been posting pictures of their plates, and my stomach is touching my back, right? So I'm like, I gotta eat something. So I roll up at McDonald's. I go in there, right? And man, I get to the line, and this black girl was like, "Dang, you ain't got nobody house you can go eat at." And I was like, "What?" She was like, "You the only black person that been in here the whole day, right?"
Uh-huh.
And then I look around, and it's like all white people in the McDonald's. And she like, "You ain't got no grandmother or nothing." And I'm thinking like, "Nah, I don't. Like, like I ain't got nowhere to eat, girl." And so, man, look, I got my little food. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, man, just give me my food so I can bounce, right?
Right.
So I get my food, I get in the car, man, I drive home, and I say, you know what? I'm having food catered at my house every holiday.
Wow. Wow.
I'm never gonna walk into McDonald's on a holiday again, ever in my life. Whatever money I have to spend to make sure it's food at my house on a holiday,
Yeah.
I spend it, bro, because the money not important.
Right.
So what I do is I invite my family members that I think was in the same position that I was in 12 years ago. So if I don't think they got somewhere to eat, I hit them up like, "Hey, I'm having food catered. You can come through, eat." If you don't like people that's gonna be there, that's fine too. Because look, I buy Tupperware, Corey, real Tupperware. It say Tupperware on it. I buy bunches of it so they can come and grab the food and go home.
Nice. Nice.
You ain't got to eat it here.
Yeah. What do you have some of that pound cake left?
Man, that pound cake is gone, bro. Now it'll be some Christmas next month. It's gonna be a whole another pound cake over here. But I got so much food this Thanksgiving, and all the food was gone. We had ribs, we had turkey, everything was gone.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's
Everybody came and ate. and then it was just gone.
That's what's up, man. So yeah,
Yeah,
we Shane, man, let me ask you, man, in front of everybody, you know what I'm saying? Because I really do sincerely enjoy talking to you. And I'm sure
that's what's up.
others would enjoy this conversation too. So we gotta do this more often, man. I think I kind of
Hey man, anytime, man,
well,
anytime.
I got lucky today, but hopefully we can get you on again.
No, you're not getting lucky because look, it started getting dark at 6:30. Man, I'll guarantee you, dude. I'm in the house when it get dark, bro. I don't play around, man.
All I gotta do is call you. You here?
I'm at home. If it's dark outside, I'm in the house somewhere.
All right. So ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. If y'all enjoyed talking with Shane, put it in the comment section, and that way I can encourage him to come more because he got a lot of stuff. Because I'm gonna just throw this out there. I don't talk to many people, and if I do need advice or somebody just kind of talk to and vent about something, I call Shane. You know what I'm saying? Shane is one of the go-to guys. I got a couple other people I call, but Shane is definitely one of my go-to guys. And I really enjoy his conversation. So if you all enjoy the conversation, like I enjoy the conversation, put it in the comment section and we'll get him on here again, at least by next week. So we look forward to hearing from y'all, and wake up before you go to sleep. Peace. We out of here.
Peace.